Monster Hunter Wilds is officially out and people are losing their minds across the world. It is hitting certain records as far as a Steam release, so is it worth it? And I'm going to cover that idea in a few different ways, just mostly on the price tag and whether if there's an alternative option out there for you if you're new to the Monster Hunter series and want to dip your foot in the water before spending $70. There's no reason for me to drag this out. It's a good game. There's no way to say that Monster Hunter Wilds is not solid in almost every regard, except for one, which is exactly where I'll start. The worst part of this game is the story. It is absolutely ludicrous and not in a fun way. In a world of giant monsters, somehow I'm suspending my disbelief in a way that is almost impossible to comprehend. This is only going to be a mild spoiler, so brace yourselves or skip to 30 seconds later in the video if you don't want to hear it, but there are people in this universe of giant monsters that have never decided to use weapons, have never decided to fight back, and somehow are protected just by crystals. I don't understand how this tracks. Not to mention, this kid is the most annoying thing in existence with the worst voice lines. Loop back because I don't think I was specific enough. The crystals don't do anything but make a sound that apparently deters monsters. Monsters later break in, so it doesn't really matter, but let's be entirely honest. You're not going to find a game called Monster Hunter and then focus on the story. No, you're here to beat down the big bad, sometimes misunderstood beasties. The same thing applies to movies like Pacific Rim or Godzilla. No one really gives a single shit about the plot. You're just there to watch big things punch other big things in very exciting ways. And yeah, it's a wonderful game for that. You'll get through the main storyline incredibly quickly before going to the credits scene and then going to the post story, which is all pretty fun, I'm going to be honest. I ripped through that in about a day or two once I had enough free time to do so. As far as Monster Hunter games go, there's actually very few fights that I find to be incredibly annoying. In certain games, I just want to rip my hair out instead of actually going through the main mission, but this one's not too bad. The monster design is completely solid all the way around. I have a new favorite design of monster just because of how great this game pulled them off. But the most important piece is how does actually fighting these monsters feel, and I'm happy to report it's just as punchy and amazing as usual. However, I still have an absolute hatred towards the ranged weapons, even though I tried to give them another chance. All of the things that you've known to come and love are here. You have the hunting horn, the switchblade, the sword and shield, all the good stuff. Screw the bow. So far, I haven't said anything that's incredibly controversial, but there is one point I'd like to get to. This $70 price tag is steep. It's a very good game, but you're not going to have a ton of options to do in it right now. The story is quick. If you're playing this alone or perhaps with a group of friends, maybe you want to dip your toes in the water first. That's kind of the main reason I'm making this video, because a lot of people are being urged to buy this game and their friends are going to either get way too far ahead of them or ditch them. It's kind of a wild ride. So if you do happen to have a friend out there who's urging you to buy this game right away, but they've already been playing for a while, trust me, it's going to feel really weird to have them come back and kill the monsters for you. It's going to feel like the entire game is a little bit lackluster. I'd recommend instead go buy Monster Hunter World. The game is just as solid and it's less than half the price on the same client. Some years ago I actually got back into Monster Hunter after being urged to buy Monster Hunter World, and then I found out all of my friends had pretty much completed the game and had no interest in doing the earlier content with me. I ended up doing it by myself, and that's the nicest thing they've ever done for me, because playing alone through that game was amazing. And don't get me wrong, doing hunts with your friends is also a lot of fun. However, if you're new to this series and you don't know what you're doing as much, it can really end up defeating the purpose. I remember when I got to Monster Hunter World, I had a friend that helped me with one or two bosses I was struggling with. Not only did they rip through the boss pretty much single-handedly, but then I just kind of felt like not playing anymore. So please, don't jump right into it if you're not sure you're not going to enjoy it. There's other options that are very similar for a cheaper price tag, but if you are a fan of the series, it is 100% worth it. I am loving the game, already have way too many hours on. Although, if you are someone trying to get back into Monster Hunter or playing for the first time, there's another game you're going to see, which is Monster Hunter Rise. That's also a very solid game. I just don't think you would enjoy it as much as Monster Hunter World. It was less captivating for me and required way too much aerial assault type things. It also doesn't feel like it's as directly connected as this one does, because I feel like you could very easily go straight from Monster Hunter World over to Monster Hunter Wilds, where the transition in between with Rise just isn't quite the same thing. Same idea, just different execution. So for anyone who can comfortably afford it, I would say Monster Hunter Wilds is definitely worth the price tag, because it's a really good game. It's a lot of fun. I'm probably going to get at least another 30 or 40 hours out of it minimum. Just make sure you like this type of game before diving in. I know this is a bit of a shorter video, but I really did just want to voice my 2 cents on it, and hey, it's trending, so why not make a short video anyway? Maybe I'll see you in the game and we can kill some monsters together, but as always, this has been Sanford Days. I am Course, and I get everywhere. Bye bye now.